Job chapters 32 to 37 through the Bible. Part 5. God never does wickedly. Now as we continue listening to Elihu in chapter 34, notice that for a man of his day, he has real spiritual insight. He certainly is defending God in this matter. Up to this point, the Lord was at a distinct disadvantage, because it looked as if the Lord were either punishing Job because of some great sin in his life, or, if there were no great sin in his life, then God was unjust. It looked as if the Lord would have to prove him to be a great sinner, but God didn't have to do that, as we shall see. If Job could only have been shown by his friends that God was dealing with him, not in the sense of punishing him for his sin, but that God was using all of these instruments in attempting to take pride out of his life and reduce him to a plane where he could trust God, where he could respond even as little Samuel did. Speak, for thy servant heareth. 1 Samuel 3 verse 10. Job was so busy defending himself that he couldn't see that God was using circumstances, people, the Sabaeans, storms, even Satan himself as God's marvelous agencies to bring this man to a very gracious and a very wise end. God's mercy was actually being displayed. His mercy endureth forever. Job had lost sight of that, which removed him from God. We need to recognize that God moves in our lives as believers. We get occupied with men and things and circumstances, and we look at them in reference to our lives instead of walking with God. We do not live above our circumstances but under them, and then our circumstances weigh us down. A wonderful man of God, who is now with the Lord, was my friend in the ministry. He used to kid me and say, "McGee, your trouble is that you live under your circumstances and you don't live on top of them." Although he was kidding me, what he said was true. Actually, God permitted me to have cancer, and now I can see a purpose in it. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not being pious and saying, I praise the Lord for my cancer. I do not. I'd get rid of it in the next minute if I could. But the point of it is that I recognize God has used this in my life. When we let circumstances come between us and God, God is shut out, and as a result of that we lose the sense of His presence. We get to the place where there is worry and distress instead of peace in our souls, and we do not feel His fatherly hand upon us. We become fretful and impatient and irritable and fault-finding. We get far away from God and out of communion with Him. We do not see the hand of God in all our circumstances. All the while He wants to bring us back to Himself in brokenness of heart and humbleness of mind. This is the end of the Lord, that for which He is striving in your life and in mine. Elihu is the one who concludes man's attempted ministry to Job. Now Job will experience the direct ministry of God. There will be a threefold effect on him. It will change his relationship to God and to his friends and to himself. My friend, we all need to be changed within ourselves. The Lord will chasten for this purpose. God doesn't mind doing that, because it will bring us to that place of humility before God, so that He can use us. God uses chastening for this purpose in our lives. Furthermore, Elihu answered and said, Hear my words, O ye wise men, and give ear unto me, ye that have knowledge. Job 34 verse 1 and 2. Now Elihu turns to the three friends and has a word for them. For the ear trieth words, as the mouth tasteth meat. Job 34 verse 3. As we taste something that we eat with our taste buds, so also the ear tastes, it tastes words or trieth words. Music is delightful to the ear. We taste it with our ears. Let us choose to us judgment. Let us know among ourselves what is good. Job 34 verse 4. Just as we like to taste something good, let's hear something that is good. For Job hath said, I am righteous, and God hath taken away my judgment. Job 34 verse 5. Job has been saying that he is righteous and that God hasn't given him a fair trial. In other words, God is not fair to me.